today's class, if you have any sort of a dumbbell or water bottles, any sort of a lightweight handheld object, go ahead and grab something like that for yourself throughout this practice. And you don't have to use it either. You can do all the same exercises just using the arms without strength. So that's fine too. But if you happen to have something, it's a good option that we're going to include in some of our poses today. And so with that, go ahead and start making your way all the way down to your back, just nice and comfortably resting and breathing. And I'll start to connect us with our intention for today. And that intention is a simple question: what do I have the power to do? And so this can mean so many different things for all sorts of things that are going on in the world right now. And people could be watching this recording, you know, a year or two from now, who knows? And so that question could be very different at that point in time. It could be as simple as, I see a mess in my house. What do I have the power to do? You know, it's not overwhelming yourself, but it's taking what you do have the power to do and you're fixing it. There's all sorts of craziness going on in the world right now with protests, peaceful protests turning into riots. There's things with, you know, things that are not fair with certain rules while they're opening back up from the COVID restrictions. There's, you know, unfairness in financial aid that's being distributed. So there's all sorts of unfair things going on right now. And so the question is, no matter what sort of a mess we find ourselves in right now, from the smallest thing to the largest thing, what do I have the power to do, and what do I feel called to do? And so that's the idea that will lead us through our class. And similarly, that question leads us into our physical stuff too. What do I have the power to do? If I need to take breaks, I go until my body tells me, okay, now it's the time that you need to take a break so that we don't hurt ourselves. If we're adding on some weights in our class today, so if you're doing the stuff with the weights and it gets to be too much, know that that's within your power to drop the weights and to continue that way. So we've got all sorts of variety of things that we can do, whether this is in our life, writing letters to politicians, setting up petitions, different things like that. And there's things in as simple as in our yoga class, what do I have the power to do? So with that question in our mind to help us lead our way forward, let's take another couple of good deep breaths into the body. Just nice relaxing the muscles, letting the mind be softer. When we have a mess going on, oftentimes that consumes a lot of our mental energy until it's fixed. But just take a huge breath in and out, knowing that we can do a simple step forward later if we feel called to. And for now, we're working with this beautiful physical body, leading ourselves to greater health and wellness. So from here, we're taking the knees into the chest. And allow yourself to do a couple of simple motions. Maybe you're rocking around a little bit left and right. Just giving ourselves a nice chance to be with the body for just a couple of breaths. Okay. And from here, we're going to start our first simple motion, starting to test the weight of our dumbbells or our water bottles, whatever we have. So just set the feet down, planting the feet on the earth close to the glutes, and bring those weights into the hands, bringing them up to the sky. And from here, just to help us test this weight, we're going to take our nice inhale as the arms travel back toward the ground behind us. Don't actually touch the ground. Exhale, contract not only the arms, but also the core to bring the arms back up. So inhale, lots of length. Exhale, contraction. Bringing us back, even as if it came from the very core. Inhale. Exhale. Here we're repeating 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. If you ever need to rest your arms down in between poses, that's perfectly fine. Holding it up for a bit longer will add a little bit more work through the body. And so from here, we're going to do a similar motion as we're getting started. So feel free to keep on resting as I explain it. But as we're heading into the next pose, the arms will do the same thing, simply going up and down. While the arms do that, the knees are going to do bicycles. So one leg extends out as it circles in, the other circles out and finds a good angle. So we're finding this nice circular motion with the legs. So know that if your circle is pointing the toes up to the sky, that's going to be the easiest version. The further down we pedal the legs, the harder it is. Make sure that the low back never has to arch off the ground by going so low. So we're still controlled through that core area. So inhales will still be arms up. Exhales will be anytime a knee comes in. You can lift head and shoulders if you want, or leave that down. So pedaling out, we inhale, exhale in. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Find a resting spot. Just drop the feet down. Arms are welcome to rest. And so here I take a moment while we're just taking a little breather to mention the nose. Anytime we inhale, make sure you're inhaling through the nose. There's actually awesome research I just read about the nose, where when we breathe into our nose and the air gets to pass just a little bit through the sinuses release a gas called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide in those small quantities are extremely helpful, especially while we're doing exercise, to help the blood vessels open up so that the blood can get delivered to the tissues of the muscles way more freely. And so that circulation happens to a deeper extent just by the act of breathing into the nose. So, fun little fact as we're taking a couple of breaths. And so from here, bring the legs back up to the sky. Our arms reach up to the sky, and we're going to do little pulses. We pulse up, trying to get the dumbbells to touch as close as they can to the feet, and then relax the head back down. Inhale. If you want to add a little bit more difficulty with the inhale, you can also reach the arms up overhead as we've been doing. So exhale, we're trying to touch the toes. Inhale back down. Almost like a little crunch. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Rest the knees back in, and then take the knees into a nice twist over to the left side. We can rest our arms going over to the right side. Just a nice little counter twist. It's like we're spiraling the shoulders open to the other direction. And even here in these restful moments, do you find yourself breathing in the nose? The knees come back up and they twist over to the other side. Hands are welcome to go over to the left. Beautiful. Knees travel back up. This motion is similar to what we've been doing, only instead of leaving the legs in place, from here, when the arms go down, the legs also go down. And then exhale, everything returns back up through the center. So inhale, lots of length through the core. Exhale, bring it all back through the center. Inhale, exhale. And know that you always can modify, such as not going so far down with arms or legs. You can also modify by keeping the knees bent. That'll make it a little bit easier. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring the hands onto the knees, hugging them in for a moment. You can rock if you wish. Just a couple of breaths, because the next one's similar to that motion also. Only this time, we're scissoring the legs. So one leg goes up and then the other leg goes up. The arms also scissor. The arms scissor to the opposite. So when the right leg is up, the left arm is up. And then it switches out. So just scissoring with the arms and the legs to each direction. So take another breath of break. Good. Start to extend the legs back up to the sky. Create the starting position. Right leg drops down and the left arm comes up. So from this position, switch. Switch. Again, you can go a little bit lower if you want to make it harder. You can also change the speed. If I'm going too fast, don't worry, go slower. Or if you want to go a little bit faster because your breath is going just fine, that's okay too. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Feel that core and how tight it was to keep everything smooth and in control. And so just to give that core a nice little break, take a moment sliding the legs long and just rest the arms up overhead. Feel the belly arch. Lots of length to those muscles that are working for us. Okay, arms can stay, feet slide back into plant. And from here, arms start off dropping right back down by our sides, arms right by the hips. And so from here, the feet push into the ground, lifting the hips into bridge pose. Once the hips are high, the arms will do a full rotation, circling up above head, and then dropping right back down by our hips. Hips roll back down. So that's the full set. So inhale, hips lift. Inhale again, arms lift. Exhale, arms down. Exhale, hips down. So it's an inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. So when you're ready, and remember, speed is up to you. When you're ready, begin the few rounds. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Little glute stretch after that. Take the right ankle up onto the left thigh. Hands thread around that left side, giving it a really good hug. From here, drop this left foot back down. Right leg gets to stretch up to the sky. Hands hold on to it, giving it a nice tug in. And then when right foot plants down, left ankle comes to right thigh. Once you're there, hands thread around, giving that hug, stretching through the glutes. Dropping right foot down, left leg straight up to the sky, hug it in. Good. When you drop that one back down, both legs start to extend nice and long on the floor, grabbing onto each of our weights. We bring the arms up overhead, and from here, we're creating a roll-up type situation. And so just follow me as we go. If it's too hard to use the weights, or if you need to bend the knees and grab onto the legs to help you come all the way up, feel free to use those modifications. We take a nice good exhale to help us start to rise. So inhale, prep through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, starting to rise up to sit. We're sitting up tall through staff pose. Bring the arms to an inclined angle, about 45 degrees. And then exhale, pull through the chest muscles. You want to make sure you feel that contraction through the chest. Otherwise, we're kind of taking a lot of the work out of it just by swinging the arms. So inhale, exhale, inhale back up. And then keeping the arms at this angle, slowly start to roll all the way back down, arms resting up overhead. So that was the first cycle. Each time we come up to the sit-up, we're going to increase those reps for the arm parts. So the first one is just 1, the next one's gonna be 2, the one after that 3, and so on. So nice inhale, exhale, sit up to staff pose, arms raise up. Exhale, a nice fly, and then back up. 2, and then roll all the way down. Inhale, exhale, sit up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, 3, 3, 2, 1, roll down. Inhale, exhale, rise up. Inhale, arms up. Going for 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll back down. Good. Raising up for 5. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. If you ever need to skip a set, that's okay. Otherwise, let's try to go a little bit more. Rising up, this one's 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll down. Up for 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll down. And let's see if we can go one more with 8. So rising all the way up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let the weights rest down. Take the right arm across the body, a nice little stretch. Maybe even dropping left ear over left shoulder. Arms open up for a moment, and then right arm does that cross over the body. Left arm does the cross, right arm hooks around, and ear over the right shoulder. Beautiful. Open back up. Grabbing back down, back onto our weight. From here, and remember these motions can be done without weights. If the arms are starting to get tired and you're like, that's about all I can do, or if you want to even just skip some arm movements and just kind of move through the core, you can modify as much as you need to. We're trying to sit up tall in our staff pose, so if that means planting your feet so you can feel the core engaged, that's okay. This next motion, it has to do a lot with the staff pose. So what we're doing is leaning partway back, rising back up. Once we're sitting up, the arms raise up and come back down in front of us. Now remember, if you need to just skip the arms, that's okay too. You're still working the core. So your choice. Here we're going for 10. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Here's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Dropping the weights down for a moment. Let your arms rest down nice and wiggly like noodles, and just relax your spine up and over to stretch out both hamstrings at the same time. As we're rising back up to sit, we're going to take on the shape of a boat pose. And so we're balancing on our hips, our knees are floating, unless that's not working for us, in which case, feet are absolutely fine just staying down. So from our boat pose, we're going to bring both arms out in front of us. I like to touch the weights together, so it kind of gives me a little bit more control, it feels like. And so from them touching, and I'm floating in boat pose, I'm going to let both weights twist over toward one side and then exhale back through the center. Actually, I switch it out. Exhale when you're twisting and inhale through the center. That'll help us build those nice oblique muscles. And so exhale, inhale. So when you're ready, find that nice boat position. Core is engaged. We're trying to find length through the spine. And from here, begin. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Cobbler's pose. Bottoms of the feet together. Relax your spine up and over. Can your head especially be heavy for a moment? Just letting that be very weighted. Okay, as we start to rise back up, keep the feet planted in front of you. We're going to try to maintain a nice tall posture. This one's okay if you're leaning back a little bit because that's where we're going to be going from one side to the next. The biggest thing though is that the spine is straight, so feel the abdominal and the back muscles that are required for that straightening to happen. And from there, we start off with the arms in front of us. One side will circle down and back, and then down, return. Second side, down and back, down, return. That's our simple motion for here. So when you're ready, begin. If you want to make it harder, circle up instead. Your personal preference. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Setting the blocks, setting the weights down. We're coming onto hands and knees, and we're going to thread the needle. So right arm gets to reach up to the sky. Do a couple of nice wrist rolls, just making sure everything's still doing very good in the wrist. And then thread this right arm all the way under and through, trying to get the shoulder to rest down. Choose your favorite variation of this pose. So some of us will be simply pushing the left hand into the ground to help twist the spine. Some of us are walking the left hand forward. And some of us are bringing that left hand around the small part of the back. So your preference. Find a nice resting pose to the arms and a nice spinal twist. We're getting closer to the end and the arms can really feel it by this point. So know that you've got a lot of power. We're building a lot of strength. Good things are happening for us. Okay, slide this left hand in. Press into the left hand to help us gently unwind the spine. When you're back up, left hand twist up to the sky. Pause, doing a few nice little wrist rolls. When you're ready, thread that arm under and through as well, choosing the same variation that you did on the other side. Beautiful. Slide the right hand in. We're back up to kneeling. Take a couple of cat-cows, rounding the spine up and belly down. It feels so alive when we're working all of these abdominal and back muscles. The spine feels like, oh wow, this movement is actually, it's pretty deep. Oftentimes maybe it feels like I'm just going through the motions, but here you can really help to heal the muscles. Go once more each direction. Okay, we're back at a neutral alignment with our spine. Bring a weight under each hand. So any hand that stays down is going to be pretty much in a fist position. So that way you can still have access to that weight. And so from here, what we're going to be doing is opposite arm and opposite leg are extending into a long line. So right arm goes forward, left leg goes backward. And then gently bring it back down with a lot of core control. Nice inhale. Exhale down. Here's 3, 3, 2, 2. Now the next arm and leg that go out, pause, and hold here for a little while. We're gonna do tiny little pulses, just an inch or so, lifting the foot and the arm up a little bit higher. Going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arm and knee drop down, second side. Hold. Keep on breathing. Tiny pulses up and down. When you're ready, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Weights off to the sides. Take a moment with downward facing dog. Pedaling legs out. From your down dog, float the right leg all the way up to reach of the sky. Good long stretch. And then step right foot forward in between the hands. The back heel, we try to keep lifted, but if your balance is awful, my first recommendation is to widen the stance, so both feet are closer to the outside edges of the mat rather than in a straight line. Or if you have to have the heel down, you can, but try to keep it lifted if possible. Grabbing onto our weights, we're going to be in this nice balanced lunge spot. You're gonna float the arms out in front of you and just hold them there. At the same time, the back knee bends so we can lower it a little bit closer to the ground and then straighten it back up. So here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now shorten the stance so that both heels can be all the way down. Hips are squaring to the short edge of your mat, that top edge. And we're going to take a nice forward fold. If you'd like to use your weights as a little bit of height, you're welcome to do that. Kind of like 2 little walking sticks when you're going hiking. You're welcome to, or perhaps you rest a bit higher up, hands at the shin, or maybe hands to the floor. The biggest thing is front leg has to be straight. Whether or not the back one is straight is up to you, but front one stays very straight. Breathe into the nose. Feel the body charged, alive, as if it was made for these types of motions. Now, drop the hands onto the mat. Whether you have to bend the front knee to do so, that's okay. The back knee slides further backwards. Both hands come to the inside of the front foot, and we're down in a lizard pose. We're trying to drop the hip low, and for today, since we're working on strength, if you can keep the back knee lifted, try to go for that variation. If it needs to drop so that you can have more of a restful moment, that's okay too. We're going for this version of lizard, maybe even one elbow down, your choice, maybe both. Beautiful. Back up onto hands, heading toward pigeon pose. Heel till the right foot over to the left side. Swivel the knee down, and then we just get to rest in our nice sleeping pigeon. We need to head up back to downward facing dog. So hands start to plant. Tuck the back toes. And then if you can, try to swing this right leg immediately up and back to lift. Three-legged dog, reaching nice and high. And then right foot rests down. Left leg takes its turn, stretching all the way up. Feel that lift. Step it in between hands. Trying to keep the back heel lifted if you can. Grabbing onto weights. We find ourselves in that nice lunge shape. Whew. Arms out in front of you if you can. And then we bend the back knee and straighten it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Shorten your stance until both heels can be down. Left foot is still forward. And we start to square hips forward as we travel down. Maybe you're using the weights for that height. Maybe your hands are all the way higher. Or perhaps just resting down. Okay, from this point, we need to plant our hands down, even if you have to bend the front knee. Scoot the back leg all the way back. Both hands are on the inside of the front foot. We're in this high lizard pose, trying to keep the knee lifted if possible. Maybe elbow, one or both, if that's still possible. Feel how the hip is able to stretch even in the work. Another good inhale. Nice exhale. Start to come back up onto hands. Heel to the left foot to the right edge until we can drop the knee down for pigeon pose. And just get a chance to rest here. up onto hands. Tuck the back toes. We're up to that floating three-legged dog. And then as we lower the foot down, we're going to bring the weights under the hands. If you have water bottles, feel free to not do this. That might squish it with your weight down like this. But if you have just normal weights that won't be squished, we're going to bring them under the hands, creating the fists. We're taking a plank position, or you can always do kneeling plank too. And from the plank position, we're going to lift one arm up toward the sky, and then the other arm up toward the sky. So if you're in the full plank, start to lift the knees up now. Just going for 10 and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Dropping down to the knees. Weights off wide so that we can lower down onto our bellies. And from this belly shape, what we're going to do is alternate back and forth. In this one, we can just have hands resting lightly on the ground. We're going to alternate back and forth between the legs lifting as high as they can, and then the hands pressing into the earth so that the torso lifts, just however much the back comfortably can. But this is more about the arm strength moving us up and down than it is about the flexibility aspect of our back. So just going up a foot, you'll start to feel it really good. So when you're ready, legs lift and arms press. Exhale for the hardest spot. Inhale, lower. Exhale, raise. Inhale, lower. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Take a child's pose. Resting all the way up and back. Just a couple of last arm exercises, and then we'll head into some nice neck and shoulder stretches before we wrap up in our beautiful Shavasana. So this one's going to be to make sure that we include all the aspects. Some that we haven't included are triceps. So we're going to do some weighted things to help our triceps out. As we're doing these, we're going to try to tuck our toes and just sit back onto our feet. If that becomes intense at all, you're going to come up to this nice high kneeling position instead. From that position, whichever you choose, we're bringing the hands to touch, the weights in each hand, and these come behind the head, and then we lift the arms up. So just repeating that a few times. A nice exhale, inhale. The exhale happens with the lift to just help it out. But remember, the inhale isn't just dropping it down. You're using that slow control of the muscles. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. As we drop down onto our hands, roll the feet out for a moment or pound them out. Just gentle love for those feet. And as you're ready, we're coming to a simple cross-legged position. Last thing for today, this one is arm circles. So arms are off to each side, and we're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing efforts. You can rest your weights down. And from our nice seated position, have a hand on each knee, posture lifting tall, shoulders pressing down away from the ears. Already start that press. And as you're pressing the shoulders down, gaze over your right shoulder. And you're trying to get your chin so far that you feel the muscle stretch when it connects up to the side of the jaw. And then slowly forward. Gazing over left shoulder. You can even kind of pull the right shoulder backwards to help it out. And return. Right again. And left again. Beautiful. Chin up to the sky. Even jut the chin forward to stretch the fleshy stuff on the front. And gently roll the chin all the way to the chest. Head heavy for a moment. Gently bring the head back up, chin jutting forward. And all the way down, head heavy. Start to roll very slowly the right ear toward the direction of the right shoulder. If you get the ear to stack over the shoulder, sometimes it's nice to let the left fingers float off to the left. And start to roll slowly down until the chin is at the chest. And rolling around, left ear over left shoulder, maybe right fingers extend. And return chin all the way down to the chest. Head starts to float all the way back up. Once we've got the head back up, we're walking our hands behind us. I like to try to walk my hands not only backwards, but also close to one another, as close as they can go. And you're walking backwards until the point where you feel the shoulders stretching without having to collapse the whole torso to get there. The torso's still long, and hands are walking backwards until you feel a really good shoulder stretch. When you're there, keep the spine straight, head can be resting down, and just enjoy the stretch through the shoulders for a moment. Beautiful. Start to walk the hands back in. Straighten the legs out in front of you. One last chance to have a forward fold over the straight legs. This one, once again, let your noodle arms just float down right beside each leg, and the rest of the spine melts its way gently over the stretch. we take our dear sweet time traveling down onto our backs. No rush to get there. When we find ourselves resting all the way down, take a moment to scan through the body, asking it, what last gifts of poses can I give you? So some of us may wish to do another little spinal twist, dropping both knees left and both knees right. Maybe some of us want to do happy baby, or even a shoulder stand or plow pose. All of these are absolutely up to you. Feel free to take a full minute, maybe even 2 minutes if you'd like, to explore these last things as beautiful, kind gifts for the body. There's zero rush to get into your Shavasana, so don't feel like I'm pressuring you to get there. But when you do feel ready, even a full minute or 2 down the line still, when you do feel ready, you're finding a comfortable way that you can relax today. And as we're in our Shavasana today, imagine this personal power, this strength that we've built in our body physically today is almost like a light right in our chest, right in the middle of the solar plexus. It's almost like Iron Man, how he has that light right in the center. But imagine this is a biological light, and so it's not any sort of machinery that could go out. Imagine this is a light that you've always had, but you've never noticed before. And now that we've cultivated a lot of personal power, you can begin to see this light shining so bright, so much that you can't ignore it. And so let that light be what fills your mind and just brings you into this powerful but relaxed Shavasana today. So still no rush, but when you're there, breathe and imagine the light. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like you're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Enjoy several really good deep breaths flowing into your body. When you're ready to rise, come up to a comfortable seated place, joining hands together in front of the heart. And in your mind's eye, see that light shining right out of your chest. And imagine this light is helping you wake up. There's so many people right now that are acting as if they're sleepwalking or acting like they're children with a box of matches. And so we feel this light within us, and we feel that if we focused our power and focus our energy, we could be doing such powerful things with this time that we have. And so we ask ourselves, what is it that I have the power to do? Whether it's a small thing in life, just taking one little aspect of my room to clean, or maybe a world-altering thing that we'd like to take a step toward. So whatever it is, feel the energy of your light. Feel the intuition telling you what your action is, and your action might be different than somebody else's. And feel that power that we've cultivated through this practice leading us toward a very powerful, very magnificent action. And so with this idea to lead us onward, let's allow ourselves to wrap up this wonderful and strong time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Inhaling now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.